Ambareesh Baliga to take us through the next half hour. Ambareesh, good to have you on. It's not been easy. I mean, if anyone went long in this market last week thinking perhaps the worst of the selling is over, he or she would be really scratching their head right now thinking what's going on. What are you making of the volatility, and which way would you be comfortable if you were to take a bet in terms of direction on the index?
In fact, I won't take a bet at this point of time because for the last couple of months, I think me, including a number of other analysts, felt that that 7,500 is a good support. Once that broke, we saw 70-50 to be a decent support. Now, looking at the way the SGX Nifty was just some time back, just about 15-20 minutes back, it seemed that, even those levels could be broken. It's a different thing that now it has bounced back a bit. But you really don't know as to where the markets would go. So I think it's just time to wait out and watch for a while. Let's see as to where it settles. And then I think one should take a decision.
Ambareesh, just your assessment of the domestic factors. I mean, the global factors are beyond our control, but in terms of the local factors that this market is dealing with, whether it's earnings, whether it's, the fact that we're running up to the budget, how much of that is in support and how much of that is actually running against the bulls here back home?
No, in fact, if you look at the domestic factors, I don't think anything much is running against us because earnings was expected to be bad. It is slightly worse than what was expected. Now, if you're talking of the macro numbers, look at the GDP, better. I mean, like it was slightly better than expected. You look at the other numbers, the fiscal deficit expected. I think that is, clearly in control. You look at the PMI data, it was better than expected. So I don't think there's anything much to worry as far as the domestic factors are concerned, because even the run-up to the budget, I don't think the expectations are as high as what we have seen in the last two budgets. So that itself is positive. So I think it is more of the global worries, more of the global sentiment which is playing out. I mean, if you look at India in isolation, I don't think, our market should be at these levels, quoting at these valuations. But clearly, we are in a global market and those factors will affect us. So I think we just need to live through it for a while. I think it's going to be painful. I don't know how long. It could be the next couple of weeks. It could be the next 3 months or slightly longer. But I think the main thing out here is that you need to live through this, have confidence on Indian economy, because I think that's one bright spot in the global economies over the next couple of years, and that's where the money would finally start flowing in, because end of the day there is going to be surplus in the global economy which has to be invested, and normally that gets invested in a market or an economy which is relatively better performing, and that's what India is going to be. So I think people should have that long-term faith and try and manage to live through this pain for a while. I think you'll turn out to be a winner.
All right, Ambareesh, it is, of course, a huge test of that faith, really, considering the cues that we keep getting from global markets on a daily basis. And some of that is evident in the FII numbers as well. We've again got a sell figure. They've sold off equity worth nearly 700 crores, 680 to be precise. And domestic institutions have also been on the sell side today. So they've sold off stocks worth almost 174 crore rupees. Both the institutional sides have been selling in today's market action. All right, on that note, let's quickly come down now to earnings. Punjab National Bank came as well, but the fact is that, is the worst of this in the price? We went into the earnings season thinking these stocks have fallen already so much. Perhaps the worst is already factored in. Is it really factored in? Because a lot of these bank chairmen are now saying that the cleanup process will take a while longer.
No, I think it's getting factored in because the last 5 to 6 months, we have been expecting banks to report, higher NPAs because of the restructured loans, the gold-plated loans. So I think this was expected, but then it's slightly worse than what people had expected a few days back. So I think because of which we have seen a further fall in this stock. It's already fallen nearly 60% in the last 6 months. So I think another quarter more of this pain would be there. But then, as these results are announced and the prices fall, clearly, it is getting factored in. But I really don't know as to where the bottom could be. The bottom for PNB could be 80, it could be 70, I really don't know. So because of which I've been saying that it's time to just wait out and watch for a while. Let us see as to where things settle, and then finally take a decision at, wherever it is, at those lower levels or whether it's 10% higher.
Okay, on that note, let's move to another sector. We had earnings coming in from Dr. Reddy. Just quickly talking about pharma, we saw some of that safe haven buying on the screens today as well. Lupin inspired a lot of confidence, but what's your take? Would you buy any of the top-rung pharma companies in this market fall? Could it be some sort of a cushion?
I've been suggesting stocks like Sun Pharma and Lupin, which I'll continue to hold, but may not really buy fresh at this point of time. Neither would I suggest buying any other pharma stocks, because I think US FDA is going to be an irritant, at least for the next couple of quarters. And we have seen that action on various stocks, including Dr. Reddy, which has actually fallen off the radar. So I think there's a time only to hold on to Sun Pharma and Lupin and possibly ignore the rest of them. Even Cipla, despite the sort of results, in case it comes like what we're talking about, I don't think the stock will really react too much. Maybe it can just move for a day or two, because even in the past we have seen that this has been an underperformer, and the US FDA issues I think will continue.
Okay, fair enough. Let's then move on to cement, because we're expecting both the big boys, ACC and Ambuja, to report tomorrow. Nigel's here.